You kind of see the notes on the screen as well with the midfield dominance, and there's this myth, right? There's a myth out there that City gains a striker, they lose how they control the midfield, or they lose part of their dominance within the midfield. And after watching this last game against Liverpool, against some of the world's best defenders, some of the world's best midfielders, and obviously some of the world's best attackers, definitely one of the world's best managers, for how City played against them with Sterling at 9, and then the control, the on many occasion dominance that City had. The myth about City not being able to remain dominant or be dominant in the midfield, control the midfield by having a striker got dismissed. The myth about City not being able to dominate the midfield like they have using a false nine system, but to revert back to quote unquote, I guess, a more traditional style and having a striker up front that isn't necessarily dropping back in the midfield. The myth of that not allowing City to still be dominant for City and City fans to be confident that City's going to have the same success, that myth is dead. Go back and watch this match against Liverpool, arguably the world's best team, and arguably the world's best team. Go back and watch this match, City and Liverpool. Sterling at 9 had opportunities early, early in that game, as well as late in that game. And the opportunities that were falling at his feet, the runs that he was able to do, the the passes that went into the box, if it is a player at the level of our newest signing, and you guys will know more about him next summer or next year, and the suspected signing that's heavily rumored to come to City, either of those players in the Manchester City Pep system, those players are going to kill it. Those players are going to be steadily eating throughout the season. I'm going to do a separate show and I'm just going to use some stills. I'm going to show how the best team in the world defended against us with arguably the best center back pairing in the world, and how it defended against Sterling, and how with a efficient 9 just puts the game to bed. And if you don't want to believe that, fine. Okay? Because yes, there's creating chances, but then they're scoring them. If you don't want to believe that, just also think about this. When you're defending City and not worried about the 9, like not overly concerned, not heavily threatened by the 9, imagine or just understand how the approach changes when you do have to worry about the 9. Just take a second and remember what City was city under Pep as well. What city was with a healthy Aguero? Okay, that's what teams are going to have to worry about next year. And the control in the midfield, yeah, okay, it may fall off, it may drop off just a tad. But what's gained by a monster at 9 makes up for it easily, easily. And I can't wait. I can't wait for the official announcement to take place. I'm only trusting the announcement coming off Manchester City's official website or Twitter account. But as soon as that happens, it's going to be a new level of dominance, and it's at the very least it's going to be a plan A and plan B that teams are going to have to worry about, and that Pep is going to be able to execute. So trust me, on my next show, you could just take it as just words right now. Vader, we don't believe you. What you're saying, you're a Man City fan. What else are you going to say? But when I show you the opportunity, or go back and watch, even just go back and watch the highlights, go back and see the chances that were missed by Sterling. Go back and see the runs that he was able to make. I clearly remember one instance where the the ball's on the left. I think it's either Cancelo that has it, or maybe it's Foden. Foden. And Sterling is running through the middle. And you know what? Van Dijk is just able. He's just subtly. I mean, he's a pro. He does his thing, but he's just subtly grabbing, pulling Sterling's arm, or holding him back. A striker of different stature, that doesn't happen. A striker that puts his head down and is just starting to run into the box, that type of slope doesn't happen. And it's things like that that have me extremely excited as a Man City fan for what's going to happen with a proper striker. And we know, we know that when a proper striker comes into the mix, teams cannot have a one way of defending against us. And I'm gonna have to talk about this in more detail on another show. I'm gonna have to.